In this very spooky video, we're going to be marking the return of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Evil Krusty Doll. Yes, I say the return of the Evil Krusty Doll, as I did do a review of this one back in, I think it was October 11th, 2010, so about 7 years ago. Before we look at the doll itself, let's get some terrifying measurements going. While the doll is in a sitting position, the doll is about 12 inches tall. However, if you get the doll to actually stand upright, the doll, let me just put it next to the tape measure here, the doll is actually close to about 18 inches in height. This also comes to us from one of my favorite of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes with the Evil Krusty Doll. Let me know down below what your favorite Treehouse of Horror actual mini episode is, like, because of course there's usually like 3 or 4 episodes per Treehouse of Horror. What is your favorite all-time Treehouse of Horror episode? Mine is probably either the Evil Krusty Doll or the Monkey's Paw. Well, needless to say, we don't have a monkey's paw to look at, but we're going to be looking here at the Evil Krusty Doll. You can see that he's probably evil as well by the fact that he's got these spiked teeth protruding out from the top and bottom areas of his mouth. Now, I normally have this guy out on display every single Halloween, and it just occurred to me, like a light bulb popping up above my head, if somebody actually had saw that. Bing! I thought to myself, why not re-review this guy, as again, he is one of my favorite things to put out for Halloween. So much like the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode, he's a little representation of Krusty the Doll. However, he's not just Krusty the Doll, my friends. He is an evil Krusty Doll. Outfit-wise, he looks exactly like he did from the episode itself, and for that matter, looks like Krusty the Clown, right down to his very, very large clown shoes, which have a little bit of, I want to say, cardboard or something on the undersides of the feet, just to give it some stability, although you really can't stand this guy upright. Not that you really would necessarily want to stand him upright. A lot of times I just have him sitting on my couch, which again is probably a little bit of a weird sight to see if you come into my house. I'm sitting and watching TV along with my Krusty the Clown doll sitting right next to me. He does have some sound effects, but before we talk about that, again, we'll just get some close looks at the doll itself. He's got a little tag here, and it says right here, 2001 Playmates Toys Inc. So I reviewed this guy in 2010, and he would have already been about 9 to 10 years old prior to that. So this one is, I guess if you do your math, he's about 16 years old, as we are in now 2017. He's held up pretty good, actually. He's still got all the stuffing. His sound effects luckily work, which I'll show you in a second. And let's have a look at his face, which is about the only thing that really hasn't held up all that much over the course of time, just by having him boxed away during the non-Halloween parts of the year. Areas such as his eyes and the little area of his forehead and the little area around his mouth, unfortunately, have gotten scuffed and scratched. The scuffing could probably be easily fixed by just cleaning it a little bit. The eye area, however, the little scraping that's happened to his eyes is not something I'd be able to fix. That's a bit of a sad thing, but for the most part, he's held up pretty good. And about the only thing I would have thought would have not lasted over the course of time was the sound box, which luckily still works. The only thing I smartly did, and I'm glad my past self did this, was I took the batteries out. I think if I had left the batteries in and stored this guy away, the batteries probably would have leaked. Luckily, though, I took the batteries out. I'm such a smart guy, and I just put some new batteries in. By the way, to get to his battery compartment, there's this little Velcro closure here. You open this up. It's not the easiest, mind you, because the way that let me just show you, the way that the box is, the plate is larger than the opening here. You have your on and off switch, and then at the top, well, I should say, you have your on and off switch up at the top here, and then on the side, you've got demo in the middle, you've got good, and you've got evil, just like the episode. Your doll is trying to kill me. Ah, this was your problem here. This guy was set to evil. Again, I've changed the batteries. It takes 3 AAA batteries, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got your pull cord. And luckily, they did use a pull cord to activate the sounds, rather than just having like a little squeezed tummy or something like that. So with the batteries in place, we can just close up the Velcro here, fold back over his shirt, and again, we'll go ahead and cycle through his many many different phrases. One other thing, too, unfortunately, that looks like has come loose over the course of time is these little threadings, which, let me just go ahead and take those out. It's not really necessary that I do it during this review. I'll just probably leave this one. Yeah, I'll leave that one in there. But I think it was just to sew the collar down, because I think the collar actually was attached further down, and then the bow tie was over top of that. I mean, that's a very small thing. That's not really anything at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and give the sound effects a try. And to do that, you're just going to go ahead and pull the cord from the back. Now, he has good, he has evil, and then we'll cycle through each of these. So for starters, for good, let's go ahead and pull the cord. And just like any old pull toy, you're just going to pull the cord like this.
Here you go, buddy.
And pull it again.
Coming home to you makes it all worthwhile.
You can see, not only is the sound very clear, but very loud as well. Cycle through it again.
Hey, hey! Coming home to you makes it all worthwhile. I'm Krusty the Clown, and I love you very much. Here you go, buddy. Hey, hey!
There is about four,
I'm Krusty the Clown, and I love you very much.
possibly
Here you go, buddy.
possibly 5 sound effects. Now to switch this guy, let's switch this guy to evil. We'll go ahead and drop it past the demo point, which is in the middle, and then we'll set it to evil. Now this was about the only thing that I really didn't care for when it came to the doll itself. We'll pull the tab.
Come on, move it. Shut your hole. You, sir, are an idiot. Come on, move it. What have you done for me lately? Shut your hole. What have you done for me lately? You, sir, are an idiot.
I mentioned this during the initial review of this guy, and I'll mention it again here. This is about the only thing where this doll misses its mark, is when you've set this guy to evil, he should be saying much more evil phrases than what you've got here. For example, the one, I'm Krusty the Clown, and I'm gonna kill you. Wow, I didn't even pull it that time. You, Homer Simpson.
Shut your hole. Come on, move it.
He's missing some, I feel like, the core phrases that one would expect to find for him. But I guess maybe Playmates decided that they just wanted to keep that part off, those audio clips, because maybe they just were deemed too violent. But if you're going to be releasing him as an evil Krusty the Clown,
Shut your hole.
you think that he could have actually had suitable phrases for the more notable things that he says in the episode.
What have you done for me lately? You, sir, are an idiot.
That's about the only thing I would say is wrong with the doll itself. The doll looks like it did from the episode. I like that he's got a plastic head. The sound effects are nice and clear, nice and loud. But about the only thing I would say I would have changed to the Krusty the Clown doll is the fact that he just doesn't utter the proper sounds, proper phrases that we got from the Treehouse of Horror episode with the evil Krusty the Clown doll. That's about the only thing I would say is the small little nitpick that I can make about this fantastic looking doll. Yes, in my house during the month of October leading up to Halloween, I love Halloween, I do tend to have a lot of these little sort of trinkets out. Not so much the skeletons, not so much the carved jack-o'-lanterns, but a lot of things that remind me of Halloween, specifically the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. This is still one of my favorite pieces to put out every single October, and he sits out until, well, a little after October, when eventually I pack him away again. I think Playmates has done a great job on something that's still, as 16 years old, he still has great sound effects. His voice box works perfectly fine, providing I keep the batteries out. And overall, I think he looks really cool. But the only thing I would say is the nitpick to the evil Krusty doll is he just doesn't seem evil enough when it comes to the audio clips. If they had only been able to incorporate some of the more famous things that he says during the episode, I think this guy would have been a home run. He's still a great looking representation of the evil Krusty doll, but he just misses his mark a little bit with some of the evil things that the Krusty doll should have really been able to say. Today's spookerific review, we were going back and having a look at something I reviewed back in 2010 as we were looking at the Playmates toys. This was the 2001 release of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Evil Krusty Doll. Make sure you guys have hit that little subscribe button down below so you'll never miss a beat when it comes to future videos. Speaking of future videos, there's much more videos heading your way before the end of October. Or should I say the end of Spottober. Many more videos are heading your way, guys. Make sure you got your eyes opened and focused on this channel, as there's going to be a lot more videos lined up before the end of this month. As always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.